I stalked my wife for 3 years before we started dating. I'm a paramedic, and I was on a case for a young woman that was beaten nearly to death by her husband with his golf clubs. She was hurt pretty bad, and incidents like this were common for them. This just happened to be one of their worst fights. I'd end up being called to their home a few more times before their marriage ended. After these incidents, I would find myself circling their neighborhood on my own time, listening for fights, making sure he wasn't dragging her body out in a bag. If I saw them leave the house together, I'd follow them places like the grocery store, the movies, restaurants. I found out she was attending a local university, and I'd accidentally bump into her and check in to see how she was doing. Honestly, I just started to appear in her life in random places. This went on for 2 years, then her husband passed away unexpectedly. But even though she was safe, I still found myself driving on her street daily. One day, I noticed her leaving the house with her friends, and I followed them to a bar. It was nice to see that she was healing and to hear her laugh. The next week, I did the same thing. It got to the point where for months I'd make my friends go out with me to the same bars she would go to. About 2 months into this, I decided to talk to her and try and get to know her. She was sweet, but her friends were dismissive and wanted me to leave her alone. Understandable, she had just gotten out of a bad relationship. I backed off, but I still watched over her. She was safe, but she was definitely struggling mentally, obviously scarred from her marriage. She was partying almost every night, and it was getting really concerning. For an entire year, I really started to force myself into her life. I'd be at the same bars as her, buying her drinks. I'd show up at the same store as her and make conversation. Instead of driving, I'd start running in her neighborhood so I could accidentally run into her. My theory was that she was a fragile person and easily manipulated. My mindset was that I should prey on this vulnerable woman and manipulate her into being with me instead of one of the assholes she was seeing at the time, so that I know that she'd be safe. Eventually it worked, and she gave me a chance. Now we're married. But I'm starting to feel really shitty about our circumstances, and how she doesn't know that I had basically stalked her life for 3 years. I do think she's catching on because every now and then I'll slip up and acknowledge that I know something I shouldn't know, and wouldn't know if I wasn't watching her every move. I had good intentions, but can't help but feel like I'm a bad guy for doing all this.